Why do we have a fear of failure? Well, that's easy. We don't like to fail. We don't want to admit that something went wrong and that we might have to eat humble pie because something didn't work out the way we wanted it to. Nobody likes that, right? Ultimately, though, failing is rooted to a deeper emotion, which is shame. No one likes to go back to their friends and family and admit that an idea or certain venture didn't work out the way they thought it would. We are brought up in a way that the mere thought of shame, it attacks our egos, our emotions, our physical well-being, and can reflect poorly on our family and friends. But does it really? I'm not sure. Some cultures teach much more prominently than others. To bring shame to your home is the ultimate slap on the face, and your entire lives you are taught that you must do everything in your power to make sure that you act in a way that prevents shame from descending on your household. In some parts of the world, this is such a strong thought that people commit suicide in record numbers rather than face their family with a failure, right? And in other cultures, bringing shame upon the family means they might put you to death. In our culture, failure isn't as stigmatized, but there are many people, when caught in a shameful situation, would rather commit suicide than face the consequences and public scrutiny for their behavior. That much pressure and cultural implications of bringing shame to yourself and to your family is enough for anyone to think twice about taking big risks in their business or in their life. What a loaded social construct, and personally, I think it's a load of crap. It really is. My success or my failure does not reflect on my family or my friends. I am solely responsible for my actions and what I build in my business. If I fail, that's my story and mine alone. And if I'm a great success and no one helped me along the way, then that's my story as well. The fear of shame is so deep-rooted that it can cause us not to take steps needed to see the success that we want. We would rather stay back where it's safe versus risking failure and the possible shame that is attached to it. Remember I talked about how our brain likes to keep us safe in the previous module? This is that same thing. Your brain is that Italian grandmother who wants to keep you home, feed you ravioli and pasta, and make sure that you're safe and happy all day long. And who wouldn't like that? How we deal with the fear and shame is largely influenced by how it was dealt with in our home when we were children. Did we grow up in an environment where we felt safe to take chances, to not get things right the first time, and were we encouraged to try things again and again when they didn't work out? Or did we grow up in an environment where any sort of failure was looked down upon, so that meant we weren't encouraged to take any risks? We were encouraged to follow the rules and live life by the book all the time. Did our parents protect us from failure even in small ways? Did they keep us in that padded bubble so that when we made our way out into the real world, we would have no resilience when it came to failure? Did we understand that the emotional toll of not doing something right the first time was so great that we never felt comfortable taking the risks needed for success? And what if we don't think we have a fear of failure? What does that really look like anyway? Like, don't we all want to be a massive success? On the surface, I believe that we do, but many times we subconsciously sabotage our efforts so that we stay where we are comfortable all the time. So how do we know if we have a fear of failure? So I'm going to go through some things on a list and let's see if anything sounds familiar to you. So we can do the following. The thought of failing makes you worry, and not in the I'm going to lose my house kind of way. More of my friends will think less of me, my spouse will be mad, my social standing will be lower. If you worry about those things, that could be holding you back. Or the thought of failing makes you worry that you don't have the skills to do what you want to do, that you start to question your ability, that you don't have the right vision, or that maybe you're not smart enough. All those self-doubts come into play. Or do you protect yourselves when you're talking about your dream by saying things like, well, if this doesn't work out, I always have that degree in paper mache to fall back on, and I'm always going to give myself an out, right? Do you say we're not quite in it 100%? Or do you procrastinate? When we have an underlying sense that we aren't going to succeed anyway, we put off doing the thing that we need to do to be a success at all. So do any of those things sound familiar? I know to me some of them do resonate. So how can you combat this fear thing? It's a really great question. Number one, make sure your vision is rock solid, that you believe in your vision 100%, that there's nothing that can stop you from reaching your goal. Realize that small failures along the way are totally fine. In fact, they should be embraced. Really, fail away, because each time we fail, we grow, adapt, and try again. A baby learning to walk doesn't fall down one once and say, oh, okay, I'm good, I'm not gonna do that again. Nope, they keep trying and keep trying and keep trying until they get it right. Be careful about the voices you listen to when it comes to your dream. Only allow positive influences to get into your head. That might mean you need to ask a spouse or a friend to keep their opinions to themselves for a while. You need to protect your brain space. Now, what about a fear of success? Is that a real thing, being successful, like being scared of that? Yeah, it is. And there are so many people who are scared to be successful. I'm not going to say that it's not a thing, but I do think we sabotage ourselves in other ways when it comes to our goal. On the surface, I don't really believe anyone is really scared, but if you see some of the things on this list, you're going to realize, okay, that might resonate with me. So we all believe certain things about success. Remember, a belief is a story that we have decided to take at face value, or we have told ourselves over and over until we can take it as the truth. But in most cases, beliefs aren't truths. They are just what we believe about a certain circumstance or situation. So some of the negative beliefs around success are, 1, I will change as a result of my success. Well, I hope so. I want you to change as a result of your success and working hard and creating an awesome business. We all change and adapt. Don't be afraid of your journey changing you. As you grow, learn, and create something you are proud of, those changes will only be good and beneficial for you. Another thing I think people are really fearful is that we're going to be judged. And this one's a bit more complicated because we're always going to be judged. People are always judging us. You're going to be judged whether you make big moves or small moves in your business. Every single day of your lives, you are judged by strangers and loved ones. We'd like to hope it isn't the case, but it is the truth. So it comes to the idea of, are you going to let other people's possible thoughts hold you back from your dreams? Those people's opinions of you and your dreams do not matter. You cannot let other people's thoughts hold you back from your dreams. Accept the fact that people will judge, and it's in their nature. Brush your shoulders off and you just go do your thing. Some people fear that their social circle will change, and it really could. It isn't about the money, though. It's about the mindset and personal growth that you will encounter as a result of your success. When you grow, you will start expanding your view of the world, and it can also mean that you reflect upon the relationships that no longer fit you best, and that's okay. People are sometimes part of our lives for a season, not always forever, and usually you're going to start to see these transitions change from far away. And you know those judgy people that you talked about earlier? If they keep doing their judgy thing, you might find that you don't want to be around them anymore. The best thing you can do for your business and for your lives is to surround yourself with people who encourage you, really want the best for you, and can challenge you to do better. Sometimes actively removing people from your life is just what the doctor ordered. Some people fear success because they think money will change you. Money can't change you. Money has no power over you, has no emotions. It simply cannot change you. But when people start making amounts of money that they aren't used to, their attitude about that money can change. And a change in attitude can mean a change in priorities, and that can be interpreted as a person being changed. Once you start making money in your own business, you will start to see opportunities open up that were not there before, like travel, savings, charity, etc. The biggest thing that might happen, though, is that you will feel a new sense of independence and freedom. I love the freedom that I feel when I go to Target and I don't have to itemize and keep track of everything that I put in my cart and worry about if I'm going to have enough money when I get to checkout. Even something that small can influence you in huge ways. All money does is open up opportunities and freedoms that were never in front of us before. It cannot change you in any way, but the new freedom that you get as that success can. Some people say you're going to have to work too hard for that money. Says who? Working hard does not mean more income, right? We know famously successful people who probably don't work that much longer than we do in our day. But working smarter is the key, and that is why we encourage you to outsource your things as much as possible, set boundaries, and just work smarter. Don't spend your time doing a $10 an hour task when you should be spending your time doing a $150 an hour task. The term hard work is subjective, so what you need to do is work hard enough to reach your goals. Some weeks that could mean that you only work 5 hours. Other weeks it could mean that you work 60 hours. And if you don't want to work that much, just know that the results you see will either be slower or smaller as a result. And there's nothing wrong with that either. It's your road, you pave the way, you decide what works best and what doesn't work for you. So as you can see, all this fear that we put on money and success really is just in our head. We shouldn't have a fear of success, and we shouldn't have a fear of failure. All of those things combined can really tie us up in knots and stop us from reaching our goals. So work through those things so you don't have to worry about that in your business.